Zay says I got sick when I went vegan. Is that normal? Hey, sometimes it feels like it gets worse before it gets better. When the first time I was vegan was actually forced. I was in a boarding school in Calhoun, Tennessee, and I was vegan for 11 months. I didn't want to go vegan. I was used to Golden Corral and Ryan's and all the buffets and the Chinese and all these restaurants eating, so much takeout and, everything. Even, the pizzas with the stuffed crust and the cheese in the crust and all that stuff. Like, I was used to that. So when we had no meat, no cheese, I was at this boarding school. They said, no meat, no cheese. I said, what? How do I live? You expect me to survive? No meat, no cheese? Please, right? Like, geez. And then after 11 months, I was still alive. Sure enough, I was still alive. Who would have thought I was still alive? And right when I left the facility, right when my parents came and got me from the boarding school, they said, where do you want to go? I said, let's go to Ryan's, right? We went to the first buffet I could find. And I pigged out, like they call it, pigging out. I ate everything I could get my hands on. And do you know, I was in the restroom. I was in the restroom all night long. My body was in pain. Like, that was suffering. That was traumatic to the point I'll never forget. I'll never forget. My body was like, Jerome, what have you done? It had gone through 11 months. No animal flesh. Then I reintroduced the animal flesh back into the body. Now I had to reintegrate, reassimilate, recongregate back with the organs, pushing things left and right. My body was like, have you lost your mind? So that taught me, once you go through a period of adjustment, it's almost like you're coming back into sobriety. You didn't know you were an addict. I didn't know I was an addict until I had to let something go that I had lived with for so long. It was normal. And then when I looked around me and everyone else was eating the same things around me, it was normal. So we were all addicts. But there was no rehabilitation clinic, right? For someone who's going to Popeyes and McDonald's is right here and KFC is right there and, Taco Bell is right here. Arby's is over there. Subway is right here. There was no rehabilitation. What's rehab for that? So when my body finally had a break, I didn't know. So, blessings to you. Thanks for asking.